And so I said, "That's America's cock."
See, isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that the internet reacts very differently to a man leaking his nudes than it is to a woman leaking their nudes?
Yes, Kat Dennings,
pointed
did a
out.
wonderful tweet pointing that out. Yeah. For those who have no idea what the hell we're talking about, this week Chris Evans screen grabbed his camera roll as part of his Instagram story, and it was only up for a minute before he realised that he probably shouldn't have done that, because it was a dick pic in the middle of the pictures, and the internet has done something genuinely kind of wonderful. They've gone, this is a celebrity we really like, who's not like been a prick to anyone, and you know, is a very positive role model, and very, like, you know, openly active participant in many charities and wonderful things. He doesn't deserve this. Like, he made a simple mistake. Let's fill all the Chris Evans hashtags and timelines with pictures of him and his dog. It's great. Well done. The picture's obviously out there. You can find it if you look, but you're not going to find it without having to really look, because his fans and admirers went, yeah, let's thingy. Let's fill up the queue. And Kat Dennings tweeted out that, yeah, this is amazing that people have done that. Why don't they do that when it happens to a female celebrity? Because, of course, Kat Dennings was part of the now infamous early 2000s event, The Fappening, where some hackers got into iCloud and got a load of nudes from celebrities.
It was a ridiculous array of female performers of all stripes.
Yeah.
Had various pictures of themselves in various states of undress leaked in that particular event.
So she's got a point.
She's got
a fucking point.
Enough, she has a point.
Maybe the next time something like that happens, ladies and gentlemen, you should maybe do the same thing you did for Chris Evans and help bury it, because fuck.
So I will say there's some kind of double standard in our society in the ways we treat women and men.
Fallout from the Chris Evans event, though, is kind of wonderful, because he's shaped it to his advantage.
Well, I've not seen the picture, but apparently that is the case. Yeah.
It's America's cock. No, wow, this tweet already has 1 million likes. 18 hours ago, as of this recording, he hadn't said anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, for a couple of days, he stayed off social media, and then he tweeted out, "Now that I have your attention," and a like palm face emoji and a shrug emoji, and there's written underneath, "Vote November 3rd." And it's like, well done. Like, genuinely well done for taking this embarrassing moment and going, well, since you're all paying attention to me, here's an important thing, you motherfuckers, vote on November 3rd. And it's like, okay.
Well done, that man.
Done. Including immediate first response on my thingy from Kat Dennings saying, now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
So even she's like, well done. Well done.
Love it. Maybe it was all deliberate. Who could say? Who could say?
Yeah, I hope he's okay. I hope he's all right.
Well, I mean, I didn't see the picture, so
the humour in it now.
Possibly speak as to the quality.
But I'll put it this way: if you've ever noticed that he walks a bit funny, now you know why.
Oh, it's bent like a scimitar.
Yeah. My favourite comment I saw was, "It's good to know that in every aspect of life you lean to the left." That's my favourite comment I saw. And people saying, so that's why he always holds the shield in the right hand to balance himself out.
Penises are funny.
Hi, by the way, everybody. Welcome to Big Damcast.
Your source for all the weekly penis memes. What?
Peens, if you will.
It's all the biggest cock talk of the week.
Yeah, I'm Chris. On your left, Johnson.
I can't beat that. Sorry.
Well,
I'm Matt. Hi, everyone.
Hi. We're recording a bit earlier than usual, which is why you've probably noticed that in our caption and in our title and thumbnail, we're not talking about the PS5 launch information. Because
is that tomorrow?
That's tomorrow as of this recording, yeah.
There's
yeah,
a
but we've
waving
got
person behind you, Christopher.
Lucy's in the room. Say hi. You've not been on the podcast for probably a year and a bit at this point. Is there anything you want to say to the faithful listener? You try not to laugh at that.
Yeah.
Faithful listener comment, aren't you? Okay. Oh, that's a shame. We've got a pad this week, so anything you can add.
Yeah, we've really got a pad.
She's even silent laughing. She's a foot away from me and she's laughing silently, so it doesn't pick up on mic.
Impressive.
What, do you have to send an invoice in before you're allowed to appear on the show?
She's very expensive.
I can't see what you're gesturing. You do realise these gestures you're showing to me only register to me, and the listeners will have no idea what you're doing.
I died a long time ago.
You did what?
I died a long time ago.
You died a long time ago.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe your death to the listeners? How did it happen?
Christopher was complaining about the Marvel game so much that my head just imploded.
Oh. We do not speak its name.
We do not speak its name. So well done by calling it that Marvel game. Is that,
Did that help?
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I'm dead. I'm going now. Woo!
She's a ghost.
She is a ghost.
It's just she leaves the room, a small dog follows her to her doom.
When you have ghosts, you've got everything.
When you have ghosts, you do have everything. That is true. So pass me, Lou. It's all right. As this ghost left the room, she's knocked Captain America off the shelf. Which,
topical.
Which is topical considering we were just talking about his penis.
He must have been unbalanced. Apparently, that is the case.
He fell to one side.
Oh.
Just,
I'm wondering how accurate the sculpt is. Anyway,
oh my god, he's the only one that they haven't kenned. So we're not talking about the PlayStation release stuff because it's happening after we're recording, but we are talking about a couple trailers and catching up on the emails.
I'm going to predict that the PlayStation 5 is going to be significantly more expensive than the Xbox Series.
You know, I have that suspicion too. Again, just everybody listening, we were saying this before the PlayStation announcement, but I've had that suspicion too, and I think it's because the Xbox was way cheaper than I anticipated.
Well, it's the Series S that's the cheaper one, which doesn't.
But even then, how much is the X?
Yeah, I think the PS5 will probably be around the same price as the. This is going to be instantly dated because you'll know by the time this comes out, probably. Yeah. But we don't know when we're recording it. But
unless someone's really relying on us for this news, in which case they'll have to wait another week.
Sorry.
Go to Google to find out, boys and girls.
And
then after you've been to Google, realise that we are redundant in your consumption of news, and
I predict that
come back to us immediately.
The PS5 with disc drive will be about £50 more expensive than the Xbox Series X. And
oh wow!
The the listing sort of went up for like the gold plated PS5s.
Okay, and
they're like
stupid
they're like
$7,000.
$7,000.
That thing's gonna burn.
Stupid. But there's $100 difference between the one with a disc drive and the one without a disc drive. So I'm gonna say that the PS5 is gonna be the one with the disc drive is gonna be £50 more than the Series X. The one without the disc drive is going to be £50 less than the Series X, which makes it a good, £50 more than the Xbox Series S. Because
so this is a not-so-subtle play to try and discourage people from buying the physical media-friendly version of the console where possible, so that they can eventually wipe out the second-hand market.
But also, the thing that you've got with Microsoft, that they've got over Sony, is Game Pass. PlayStation Now is not a fucking patch on Game Pass. It doesn't touch it for value. And I don't know what the prices are like for here, but in the States, you can get a subscription Xbox Series S for like £25 a month, which is Game Pass Ultimate, which includes Xbox Live Gold. So you get your game library, you get online gameplay, and you get the console for like £25 a month.
Which is really not bad at all.
Which is, I think it's 25. It's 25 or 35. But either way, over the term of the contract, it works out like $10 less than buying the console on its own.
Yeah. So
a
steal in comparison. So PlayStation better have done something really impressive to.
But I don't think they will have because they
even match it.
They do complacent all the time, because they did it with the PS3. They were uber complacent with the PS3, and they'll have done the same thing again this time, because if there's one thing we know, it's the companies don't fucking learn. until their shares
Sony Games
plummet,
is definitely
companies don't learn.
So Sony Games is definitely the least problematic of Sony's arms compared to like the movie studios and stuff, and it's definitely one of the few places where they are making a stone cold profit all the time.
Yeah.
But new console generation launches really make or break for like the first 2 years of profit on a console.
Yeah.
Like they've got to absolutely, if it's going to cost more than the Xbox, they need to prove to consumers why it's worth paying that bit extra and getting the PS5. Like they've really got to be like, which was Xbox's angle back when the Xbox One came out was, yeah, PlayStation's a console and home entertainment system, but we are a console. Where you can watch stuff and listen to stuff on us if you want, but we're a console. Well, if you're serious about gaming, you want an Xbox One. Whereas this time it's like, yeah, we're an entertainment hub and we've got all you need and the processing power is going to be incredible. So come on down. It's like, is PlayStation going to switch tacts and be like, we're a console?
Oh, that's what they've been doing.
Or are they going to,
like, they're very much like, we do the games.
Nah, I want it to do everything. I still want it to do everything.
I honestly don't mind.
I'd like it to be able to play fucking CDs again. That'd be nice.
Honestly, I could just have my Switch and be happy, probably, for the most part.
Matt, you're a happy-go-lucky chappy. You could just have your 2005 hard copy of the Will Smith single Switch, and you'd be pretty content overall.
I mean, what's not to like?
You can turn it over and turn it around now. Ooh, la 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 la, And every time someone says to you, "Oh yeah, didn't that come out with the movie Hitch?" you can go, actually, they had nothing to do with each other except for Will Smith being in both. He and his record label just strategically released it close to the release of the movie Hitch, and everyone associated the two.
Will Smith was in a Will Smith song.
Yeah, did you not know? That's some news this week. It seems that they're kind of implying it's been in the last week, so obviously they all better have tests and be isolating for 2 weeks afterwards, but it looks like the cast of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air got back together to film an anniversary special, like a retrospective about the show. On rebuilt sets of like the living room area and the kitchen and stuff, so that I'll be honest, I saw like the group photo selfie that Will Smith posted and was like, okay, that did hit me in the nostalgia gut. Like, that did make me feel warm and fuzzy seeing everybody in that photo.
It's been a long time since Fresh Prince was on, so I definitely have a nostalgia gut.
But most remarkably, both Aunt Vivs are in it. Now, the reason that's significant is because the first Aunt Viv was booted from the show, and there's a lot of bad blood. But she seems to have shot her stuff on a different day. They're like, the photo she's in is in like the audience, because they must have used the original studios that they shot it in. That she's in like the audience seating area. The reason why that's significant is she's talking to Will, who is the person she had the most bad blood with.
Yeah, they did not get on.
So it's like, oh my god, have those two buried the hatchet long enough to like, do you know what?
Yeah,
we
but who
celebrate what we did. James Avery, and that's why he's no longer with us. They all murdered him, and they're doing this special to distract from it. But yeah, the majority of the posts, it was quite heartwarming. The majority of the posts in relation to it were filled with comment sections of people just going, right, first things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. And it's like, oh my god, this community around this show is kind of wonderful. And then it made me realise we're about to see, when this doc comes out toward the end of the year, I think it's HBO Max in the States, and I don't know where it's going to be everywhere else, but I imagine, like most sort of American documentary or one-off specials that never get broadcast here, we'll have it on YouTube within a week.
Yeah.
But like, how else are you supposed to watch like the Entertainment Weekly reunions and things like that? You have to just watch them on YouTube because we don't get broadcasts for them over here. But I can imagine that when this happens, we're going to see something we've never really seen on the internet, which is the Fresh Prince fandom turning out en masse. Now, that sounds like a weird sentence in general, because it's like, what? But
it's
no,
weird
guys,
to think
guys who were too young to really see it when it was on, listening to this podcast, My lords and ladies, this show was fucking huge.
Well, I think that's why it's weird to think of it as having a fandom, because it was so mainstream. Or maybe that's just my experience with it. But
well, I know what you mean, but when I say a fandom, I mean it's going to be a very specific sect of people that are going to celebrate this special. But it won't just be like, oh, they're a cult fandom. It'll just be people of a certain age are all going to come back to celebrate this. And I've got to say, I'm hoping that they're lovely. I'm hoping that they're a lovely fandom, because I have nothing but love and warmth in my heart for that show, and it would suck to suddenly see a really toxic Fresh Prince fandom show up on the internet. Like, no! Just because you weren't here when the internet existed doesn't mean you get to ruin it for everyone. Go away! But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Jeffrey literally looks grey. That's the only change. I'm trying to remember the actor's name now, but he just looks grey.
He just looks entirely grey. He's made of stone now.
He's been reverted to black and white television.
He's a statue of his former self.
And DJ Jazzy Jeff hasn't aged a frickin' day either.
Well, they've kept him on Vanilla Ice.
Which Vanilla Ice was fuming about. Like, get off me.
Someone had to stop him. He's been battling Vanilla Ice in the underworld to stop him from re-emerging. For the last 20-odd years.
You know, they got Jazzy Jeff back so he could do the special then. Somebody had to grab him, open the front door, throw him out. I'm going to be so pissed if I can't find the Fresh Prince on any of the streaming things that I've got, because I will probably end up revisiting it. I'm probably going to have to revisit it in the next couple of weeks and just bathe in it.
I want to say it's on HBO Max or something stupid like that.
I've got the and again, young listeners might not know what this is, but I've got the first 2 seasons on DVD, so I could start there.
People know what DVDs are, Chris.
No, they don't. They're so old, and I'm so young. That's not true. It's the other way around.
Speaking of old,
tell me
about this new trailer for the James Bond film that came out 3 months ago.
I was in Big Asda before, and I saw the cover of like Empire magazine or whatever, and it had the horror movie rundown, and all the films it listed on the front. I was like, that should have been out earlier this year. That should have been out earlier this year. That's gone to VOD. That should have been out earlier this year. That's been pushed back to next year. I know that for a fact. Okay, this is weird.
Okay,
your October horror issue is behind the scenes peeks at movies that are already long finished. This is weird. Although Genius, the main cover star on the magazine, it's either Empire or Total Film, is Candyman. And though there are no bees on the cover, which is a massive missed opportunity, another feature they've got at the minute is their top 10 worst movies as voted for by the viewers, by the readers.
Yeah.
And the photograph accompanying that strap poking out from behind the title on the magazine cover is Nick Cage in the Wicker Man remake, like swatting. And I'm like, why have you not put bees on the cover? This is perfect. I can see why you've done it. You've put "Not the Bees Man" in the top right corner, and the man made of bees in the middle of the cover. Like, why are there no bees on the cover?
Why are there no bees?
Anyway,
I'm looking
James
forward
Bond.
to Candyman, man. I need to find a way to watch Candyman when it comes out properly. Anyway,
we'll have to get our eyes around it. We this is how long the lockdown's been going on for. Lucy and I borrowed your Blu-ray copy of the original to watch it before we were going to see the new one like 3 weeks later.
Fuck.
It's in our living room, like next to the PS4, because it's just like we're not going into the cinema anytime soon. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. We've still not watched it because we wanted to watch it and then go see the new one.
Give it a watch, if only for the Pip Glass score.
Should we watch it 5 times in a row?
Well, in a mirror, yes.
Yeah, just watch the reflection.
Just turn your TV round into a mirror and play it into the mirror 5 times.
So No Time to Die. The James Bond fucking movie. They released a final trailer, i.e. we've got to remind everybody that this movie is happening at some point.
Final trailer for a film that's like 3 or 4 months delayed. All right. Okay, Tell me about this final trailer.
I mean, I get it. Like, Wonder Woman did it too, and it's mostly just to remind people that this is coming. Like, it is coming. It's just not coming when we wanted it to. But there are pills for that. So,
I was trying to work out how to make a guy out of that, but you beat me to it.
Well, give me a cock and I'll gag on it. So,
okay.
you'll get what you're given and you'll like it. So, what's really weird about this is the previous trailer was really stylish and quite enigmatic and left a lot to the imagination in terms of where the film was going to go. We mostly knew plot details from the stuff we've talked about on the show before. Like, James is retired, there's a new 007 in his place, and something brings him back out of hiding because he's sort of like targeted directly in this plot. And we knew from the fact Christoph Waltz was announced to be in it that it would also tie into Spectre. Like, this is very much the same way that Spectre was sort of tried to retroactively condense all of the Daniel Craig movies into one plot line. This film was actually going to earn that by being like, no, this will be a culmination of the previous 4, and this is the finale of this series. And it's like, okay, sure, that's unique. No Bond's really done that before, so that's cool. We know this is the actor's last, time in the main role. Wrap it up so that it's like, oh, my favourite James Bond is the Daniel Craig era, the Daniel Craig series, where there are 5 and they're all connected, and it's like, great, cool, why not? Sure.
Hashtag not my James
This trailer...
Bond.
What?
Hashtag not my James Bond.
I see.
Timothy Dalton all the way.
Really?
No.
Is he your James?
I don't like
you're not
James
big on
Bond.
the Bond movies.
I think I've decided
the Bond
after all
movies.
these years that I don't actually like James Bond.
I like On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I'm not even kidding. I genuinely love that one. It's the redheaded stepchild of the Bond series.
Well, also more relevant because of the passing of Dame Diana Rigg last week.
Yes! Shit. Yeah, that was a depressing start to the week, wasn't it? It was like the weekend, just crack the news, bump, Dame Diana's gone.
Imagine how she felt.
Shit.
Imagine how she felt.
Well, she didn't. That's the point. Oh, no. We're terrible. We're going to hell, but it's all right. When we're down there,
we're already in hell.
We'll tell you what happened to all those cool movies that you're never going to see. Yeah. So this trailer has an opportunity to just remind people that the movie is going to be coming out later this year. It is going to be here. Get excited. We haven't forgotten about you. We don't want you to forget about us. But what it does instead is it Sony's all over itself. We've talked before about Sony releases. Their trailers kind of... Usually their second to last or their last trailer shit in the bed and showing all the contents of the script. Like, here is the entire film in screen grabs.
They can't help themselves.
Snippets. And I mean, for Christ's sake, there was the whole thing with the Amazing Spider-Man movies, especially number two, where they included spoilers for the final 15 minutes of the movie in the trailer. It's like, why do this? Why would you do this? I guess it's a formula they really believe in, because the trailer for No Time to Die has me simultaneously excited to see these action set pieces, because they look legitimately really fucking impressive.
Yeah.
But also, I can kind of piece together where they fit. I'm like, well, that's clearly in the beginning. Well, that's clearly in the middle. Well, that's clearly after that one, because he's got an injury in that, he's wearing that suit. Well, that... And some people might say, well, that's a bit nitpicky. The trailer's about 4 minutes long, and you see... I think I tried to count it. You see a total of it's like 14 distinct different action set pieces. Yeah. Obviously, I might be wrong in a couple places. A couple of them might be the same one at very different points in the runtime of it. But that's the whole movie. That's a whole film.
Yeah. It's...
Imagine if the Avengers Endgame trailer was like, here's them going through time. Here's them doing this. Here's them meeting their past selves. Here's them stealing a thing. Here's them beheading Thanos. Here's them fighting other Thanos. Here's the Portals moment. Yeah. Come see the movie. You'd be like, well, I've seen it now.
Imagine if On Your Left was in the trailer.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. It really makes me admire, like, their marketing campaign, in particular, Marvel Studios, like the restraint they show.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I mean, right down to subtle trolling and editing to cover things up purposefully. Which is, power to them, because it worked.
Yeah.
Freaking work. Endgame only ever showed us stuff from the first 20 minutes, and we didn't realise it.
I don't think there was anything past them in the time travel suits?
No.
The shot of them walking to the time machine, I think, is the last. Is the bit in the trailer that's from the latest in the movie.
Yeah, and even then, it's a doctored shot because I think it's Bruce Banner is Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
And Thor is slim, short beard Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
In a time travel suit, and it's like, to the point where the marketing, the merchandise, purposefully mistold the plot of the film.
Yeah.
To keep things under wraps. If you bought any merch from the early stuff that came out for Endgame, none of it's in the films.
No.
Like the Lego sets, the first Lego set to come out for Endgame is Captain Marvel and Outriders fighting in the hangar at Avengers base, and the main Build-A-Figure piece of it is a War Machine Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
With a roadie figure in it, and you're like, that's
is
cool. It's not in the film. It's not in the film. Every piece of Thor merchandise for the first 4 or 5 months into and including like just off the back of the release is slim Chris Hemsworth in a time travel suit holding Stormbreaker, and that's it. That's all he is. Like months later, Marvel Legends released a Captain America figure based on Endgame, limited run to Walmart. I was so lucky that I got in there before scalpers overcharged for it to come to the UK. I managed to get it for 30 quid maximum, and I was so happy about this. And it's Captain America as he is in this really cool art, it's really cool costume in that film, and it's got a swappable Chris Evans head and a swappable penis, and there it is. And what's great is on the box it's just Captain America and this, that, and the other, and as packaged with him as always is the shield. When you opened it and took the plastic thing outside the box to get the figure out, tucked behind the shield was Mjolnir. So even if someone had managed to get a hold of it, like somehow before the film came out, they just go, "Oh, what's that doing in there?" And there's no sign of it on the shelf with Mjolnir in his hand anywhere on the packaging. In the packaging, you can't see it from any angle. It's like, that is fucking brilliant. Like, well done. Hiding a spoiler in the box so well that you have to have bought the figure and taken it home to go, oh, there's Thor's hammer's in here. That's weird. And then obviously just think, I guess it must have just like fallen in. Because it was loose as well in a little bracket. It's not like it wasn't clicked in. It's just little thoughts like that. It's like, well done. Whereas the trailer for No Time to Die is just like, here's the film. I'm calling it now. Christoph Waltz turned out to be Blofeld, confirming that these movies are indeed their own mini reboot.
Yeah.
Despite Skyfall celebrating the history of 50 years of the franchise by sort of alluding to previous things, but sure, whatever. I kind of see it as its own mini event. Based on his lair and the way he dresses, Rami Malek's character is absolutely going to fucking be Dr. No. Like, it just feels like they're coming full circle. In the trailer, he's in like a hillside base, and there's like big glass walls looking out over the mountains. He's in fucking silk pajamas. It's like, this is going to be Dr. No.
Where's Baron Samedi?
Dr. No. Where's Jaws? If you're rebooting everyone, give me Odd Job. If you're going to reboot it,
give me Random Task.
Oh, fuck. That is the one good joke in all of the three Austin Powers movies. Random Task.
There was another decent joke in the Austin Powers movies, which was turned into a meme today, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But first,
fair enough.
Before we do that,
shall
we talk a little about the other trailer that came out?
We can.
There's not much to say about it. Like,
that's fine, because I've got another piece of news that I forgot to mention before we hit record that I'm really excited to mention. So I will do it after. What's the trailer?
Mandalorian Season 2.
Yes!
There's a trailer for Mandalorian Season 2.
The trailer for Mandalorian Season 2 is out, declaring that, hey, yeah, we have absolutely finished this, and it is coming out on October 30th on Disney+.
It's short. It's sweet. They're on a boat.
There's Gamorrean guards, half naked, fighting in a ring.
I'm all about that.
There's
Grief Cargo with a beard.
To a couple of returning locations from the previous series, meaning some returning characters. No shots of Ahsoka Tano.
No shots of.
You probably should have, but
the rumored
really
Boba Fett. Where?
Yeah, but really heavily Boba Fett, but really heavily playing up that this year's story arc is about Jedi. Not the Jedi as such, but the fact that the only connection we have to the child and where they might have come from has something to do with the Jedi.
Yeah.
Meaning someone must be like, oh yeah, that green guy. Yeah, they had a old as fuck one, like was one of the Jedis back in the days of the Galactic Republic. So maybe try and find a Jedi. So I think that's the series' excuse to finally get a lightsaber in it, but it also will pay off the whole Giancarlo Esposito's character, Moff Gideon, having the Darksaber.
Yeah, boy.
Which is like, that's a significant item from the animated series.
Yeah, boy.
Why does he have it? So I guess, Jedi was inevitable in a way.
Sabine Wren doesn't have it anymore, clearly, so I guess things didn't turn out so well for her.
No. Oh god, if it cuts to like his lair and he's got a helmet and a severed head in there or something. Did you notice the Mandalorian had like a new insignia on his shoulder
I didn't notice
thing?
that. I didn't know.
There's this really intricate kind of like flame insignia on his Beskar
Is that from your 10 things you missed Easter egg video?
But I
Did
will
you
draw
watch
a
the
red
Emergency
circle around
Awesome
the
video?
dirt behind him. No, because he is like he's a Colin Robinson from
Robbins. He's an energy vampire.
He's an energy vampire.
Okay.
Like what we do in the shadows. So I can't watch. He doesn't appear in his videos anymore, Emergency Awesome. Last time we talked about him, I think we looked him up and it was like, oh, he doesn't actually appear, he just does voiceover now.
Voiceover's easy, to be fair.
Here are 20 things you missed in the Suicide Squad teaser image released on Twitter. Number 1, the credits list Margot Robbie near the front, which suggests that she will indeed be a main character in the scene.
That's...
number 2,
stop it! Stop it! I
font.
can feel myself dying on the inside. And the outside. At all points in between.
All betwixt. I'm happy for more Mandalorian. I want it in my life. It will be warm and fun.
Yeah. Let's just hope that none of the rest of the cast turn out to be transphobes after Gina Carano started tweeting things.
Is that like really solidly official that she's... Because I know the Rosario Dawson one's really complicated. It's like some of her family fucked over somebody and were transphobic in this lawsuit against them. And the suspicion is that Rosario is also transphobic because she hasn't spoken up against that element of it.
I think Gina Carano was like... Basically, she was like bemoaning people telling you their pronouns.
Oh, fuck off, Gina Carano. Come on.
So yeah.
Like it affects your life at all.
I know.
Oh, well, I mean, that at least shows that maybe it's not too late for her to be educated after she's realised she's being a twat, but...
I don't know.
Hopefully,
we are in the era.
Hopefully, it's that simple. But
we're in the era of doubling down hard. But again, we'll come to that.
That's true. Hagrid and Luna Lovegood are both fucking TERFs anyway.
Oh, no.
So
right, tell me about the other piece of news.
Well, Ant-Man's been busy this week.
Oh, of course.
Ant-Man has been massively busy. Not only did he give Governor Cuomo in New York City a hand in his alter ego of Paul Rudd to talk to... Have you seen that? It's so funny. PSA to fellow millennials.
Wear masks to protect your rad crew.
It's like they said, you're 26, right? And I didn't correct them.
It's very good.
Just a reminder, that ridiculously youthful-looking man is 50 years old. Just think about that for a second, everybody, and hate yourself just a little bit more.
It also caused a fresh release of the Super Nintendo advert he did when that came out from years ago, which is wonderful. Yeah, he looks the fucking same. It's horrifying.
Oh yeah, I think the secret is you have to be in a out of continuity Halloween movie to bathe in the bask of the warmth of the Fountain of Eternal Youth.
Ah, yes, you have to be a member of the Cult of the Thorn.
Well, think about it. Jamie Lee Curtis, right? Yeah, she has aged, but she has aged incredibly well.
Yes.
For a human being who's worked tirelessly for decades as an actor and for charities, who's had kids, who goes actively to Street Fighter tournaments and conventions. Like, she should look absolutely shattered, if happy, but shattered at all times. And she doesn't. She looks phenomenal. Why? Because not only is she in canon Halloween movies, she's in non-canon Halloween movies. So she's sipped from both fonts, you see.
What is canon but a thing to shoot with? Shoot people's fan theories into the sun.
There you go. There you go. So
yes.
I mean, Marvel actors have been doing an amazing job this past week of making really fun commercials and PSAs. Like Ryan Reynolds has been doing one for that internet provider where he talks about like I can't remember the phrasing, but he talks about like, and speaking of beloved things that we don't see enough of nowadays, here's Rick Moranis to tell you more. And Rick Moranis just walks in.
Moranis out of retirement.
I'm not quite sure why I'm here. And it's one of those where like, even though we are never going to use that service provider because we're in the UK, we don't have access to it, I was like, I'm so grateful for this advert. Any excuse to just like check in on Rick Moranis.
I'm so grateful for Rick Moranis. Sure.
Like, he's just, there he is.
Isn't he coming back to do another thing?
He's doing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the series for Disney Plus. It's a series of films, so it's like 2 or 3 movies. Not to be confused with the TV series from the 90s that had nothing that he wasn't in. Yeah, like many movies in the 90s that got spin-off live-action TV series, like Bill and Ted, for example. Yeah. And Ninja Turtles. So
we do not speak of the next mutation.
Hey, it's canon in the Power Rangers universe.
Oh, fucking hell.
They had a crossover with Power Rangers in space. So it's canon. And Venus has been added in retroactively in recent comic book continuities. Like they found a way to do her, but not shit.
Oh, they've done no, because they've done a 5th turtle who's a girl, but it's not Venus.
But they did Venus before that at some point. Because Turtles has undergone the same thing as like Transformers and Ghostbusters, where every now and again they just go, fuck this canon, we're starting again. We're going again. It never happened. Here it is now.
Also, I mentioned the Transformers Ghostbusters crossover a while back.
Yes.
They're getting ready to release the Transformers X Back to the Future.
I saw the cover for issue 1. Yeah,
because they did the toy. They did the DeLorean. There's Gigawatt, whatever you want it.
Marty, that is a great name for it, though. Oh my god, they couldn't pick a more perfect name. It's like an Autobot called Gigawatt, who is a transforming time traveling DeLorean. Yeah. Like perfect.
Pretty good.
Perfect. Oh my god. Sit in it, Marty. Sit in it. We gotta get this baby to 88 miles per hour.
I gotta lick my balls.
But also speaking of Ant-Man, as we were at some point in this conversation.
Yeah, God knows where we went. Where do you go to, my lovely?
Lovecraft Country's Jonathan Majors.
Yes.
He's from Lovecraft Country, isn't he?
He is the lead in Lovecraft Country, yeah. He's brilliant.
I still need to watch it.
I've watched the first 2. I've not watched any more yet. I like it. I've just not got around to watching more of it.
He's a television actor who everybody at the moment is like, yeah, this guy's really freaking great. He has been cast in Ant-Man 3, which means 2 things. 1, Ant-Man 3's confirmed, everybody. Like, it was the one film where we're sort of going, we'd like another Ant-Man movie. It has yet to be mentioned in any capacity that they're working on one. And then a few months ago, we reported, obviously, after reading it online, that Paul Rudd had mentioned he has been in talks with Kevin Feige about the next Ant-Man. So it was like, oh, so they are doing one. That's good to hear. Because in all the things they've announced, Ant-Man wasn't there. And Ant-Man and the Wasp was like one of the more enjoyable entries in the last few years. Because it was just sort of a standalone story, doing its own thing. It was really fun. Evangeline Lilly was fucking great.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was like, yes,
she was.
And she seems to have since realised she made a really big fuck up talking about the coronavirus dismissively early on in the pandemic. So it's like, well done.
Hey,
well done.
We both did a little bit of that, to be fair.
We did, but she made that whole... She did that same thing that Vanessa Hudgens did of being like, get over it, it'll be fine. That. It's like, people die all the time. It's like, oh, read the room. People are dying right now for a thing that, like, government should have protected us from much sooner than they did.
Read the room, no.
Really doing. Yeah. Oh, fucking Jesus. A lot more people are going to be like, well, Liam was always my favourite now. So so him being cast in Ant-Man 3 means Ant-Man 3 is happening. That is great. But also, and I'm giving this news to you, dear listener, with a fistful of salt because nowhere has officially confirmed this yet.
Yeah, this is... I don't know where this rumour's come from, but this rumour has been floating around that...
People have been running with it. He's playing Kang the Conqueror.
which would be fabulous.
Well, the Ant-Man movies, like the first one is a heist movie with some heavy sci-fi ideas in it. The second one is a really cool sci-fi action movie about, macroverses and technology screwing with human existence and what it can do to one person if it's unchecked, and that's cool. But we've since had Endgame. Like the population of the planet has been halved and then restored 5 years later. The Marvel universe has gone through a lot of changes. So it gives way for Ant-Man's third movie to be like, let's do something bigger and weirder. And if you fuck with time travel in the Marvel universe, chances are you're probably going to meet the fucking master of time travel in the Marvel universe.
One might say that the Marvel universe is primed to be more open to the fantastic.
I've seen people being like, oh, right, so like they're casting an African-American actor as Kang the Conqueror because of read into comics, everybody. It takes too long. But because of like his connection to Reed Richards, then does that mean Reed Richards will be an African-American actor? It's like, maybe.
Possibly.
I mean, that's completely up to them.
Maybe they're not thinking that far ahead. Maybe they're not going to do that particular.
Maybe they're not going to do
character.
that. Unless they're going to really pull the rug out from under our feet and then announce after this, oh, by the way, Jonathan Majors is also going to be playing Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four. To which I think we'd all go, sure,
yeah,
it's fucking great. Why not?
I'd do that.
Like, bring it on. I mean, that would be genius. Like, being like, yeah, this actor's going to play two major roles because of the connection of the characters in the comics. Why not? It's like, okay, sure. But if he's playing Kang the Conqueror, then that's amazing because that means that OG Kang's like first storyline, and whenever they adapt him, his first storyline is usually, I have come from the future, everything's gone to shit, and the Avengers and an upcoming thing they're going to do is the reason for that. So I'm here to, and it's usually like it's usually revealed that he's got much more insidious methods at play. But at first he's like, I'm going to just tear you guys apart, like, so that you don't work together and that future never comes to pass.
I'm going to tear you apart like warm bread.
And then based on it, which interpretation it is, you usually find out that actually he's here to fuck around with this, because if he does this at this time, this will happen in the future. And his name, the Conqueror, comes from the fact that he's like, oh yeah, no, I go back, I feck with time streams, and by the time I return to the present, I make it play to my advantage, and that place belongs to me now.
Do we
it's
think,
like, oh, dude,
if we're getting Kang the Conqueror, does that mean we're also getting Ramatut and Immortus?
I don't think we're getting them right away, but I wouldn't put it past them making a cameo. Are you kidding me? Like, fuck's sake, we got, who was it who appeared in Ant-Man? There's a blink and you'll miss it when he goes into the macroverse at the end of the first one, and it looks like he's going to be lost forever. There's like those flashes in the clouds and all this, that, and the other. And people managed to figure out that at a certain moment when you screen grab it, at first people were like, is that Janet? Is that Janet in there? Because it's sort of like the shape of the person. Like, is that hinting that she's in there? And Peyton Reed, I think at the time, was like, well, maybe. And then others since have noticed, that kind of looks like Eternity. Is that Eternity? And it's like, no, I'm not going to say. And it's like, right, well, they're obviously not planning to put Eternity necessarily in a movie. But if they're willing to go there to be like, let's make this Easter egg just sort of obscure enough that people can take it one of several ways, then it's like, why would they not put like Immortus and shit into a film?
I mean, as a franchise, it's one of those where they can pretty much do whatever they want now. They've got so much. I kind of like that,
because this could be the new big bad for at least Phase 4.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, Kang could be an element that recurs throughout Phase 4 as a whole, and I would be so fine with that, because, you know, in this universe, the Avengers fuck with time. Maybe this is a guy from the time stream that they kept hopping into, or you know, one of those versions of reality and how things played out. And he's hopped here and he's like, right, I found where they all came from. They've screwed us over. The universe is fucked. I'm here to put things to right and teach you a lesson. And it makes sense that the Ant-Man cast would be the ones to deal with it, because time travel became possible in Endgame because of the macroverse and everything that they learnt from Scott's seemingly like 5 hours in there and coming back out 5 years had passed and everything. So, it's not the Macroverse, is it? What do they call it in those films? It's got a different name.
The Quantum Realm.
Quantum Realm, that's the one. Macroverse is DC? No, Macroverse is also Marvel, but it's miniature universes within the universe. Because like Reed Richards and co. go to the Macroverse, and that's where people like the Psycho Man and stuff like hide out between adventures. Man. The fucking Psycho Man with his tablet in modern versions, with his tablet with like the emotions that he forces.
I love it.
On.
I love it. That's in the older versions as well, and it's still written on in big block letters because having read up
fear,
to like,
horror, intimidation.
Having read up to like 95 in Fantastic Four, so like the first 30 odd years of Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Psycho Man's weird, and has always been weird.
But like enjoyably so. Maybe not a full movie level character, but Kang abso-freaking-lutely.
Maybe he's Psycho Man. Maybe he's Psycho Man.
Could you imagine?
I'll buy that for $1.
Maybe he's Ultron 2.0.
Maybe he's Ultron 8.
Because Tony's gone now, so if they wanted to do more Ultron stories, they could tie him into Hank Pym.
Ultron 8 is twice the father you ever were. So
if you're gonna go to yeah, of course, freaking Old Man Logan. if you're gonna go to obscure spin-off versions of other characters, can we have Brodok?
Oh, okay.
You know, when he's all handsome and he's with a big head, that it turns out it was all a lie because it was actually what's the new MODOK called? Like what he's been called the last few years? He's like MODOK Prime or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Where basically he looks like classic MODOK, but he's bald and fucks around with his appearance more. Why not?
When are we getting the next wave movie complete with Elvis MODOKs?
The Elvis MODOK! Shit. If you're wondering what the hell we're talking about, just go to Google. Just type in Brodok and then type in Elvis MODOK.
Just Next Wave. Just go and read Next Wave. Just try and forget that it was written by Warren Ellis.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Also problematic.
Oh.
Turns out all your faves are problematic.
Oh my God. I mean, Matt and I have murdered people. MODOK Superior, that's what he's called.
The Superior MODOK.
Superior.
Remember when everything was the Superior after Superior Spider-Man was good?
Oh God, yeah, when they did their own versions and it was really pointless.
Superior Iron Man, which lasted for about 8 issues because it went from Axis into Secret Wars. It's like, okay, that was a waste of time, wasn't
it? Superior Iron Man was really pointless. Like, was really pointless. He's Tony, but he's like a massive prick. It's like, so Tony then?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, he's really nasty. Cool, okay, no thanks. And then a year later they go, now Doom is Iron Man, so we're basically doing the same thing.
Yeah. Like, no, but Doom's good though.
Doom's what was he called? Was he called the Immortal Iron Man or something like that?
The
Insidious Iron Man, or I don't know. Let's have a little look.
I can't remember
Iron Man
because
Infamous Iron Man.
Infamous, yeah. Because what's the name?
Just Iron Man in a cape, which is highly impractical.
Riri took over as Invincible Iron Man.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what she's up to now. I don't know what any of that sort of generic. Miles is bumming around doing stuff. Ms. Marvel's bumming around doing stuff. I guess they were the champions for a while, but I don't know. Fuck knows. I don't know what's going on. But I do know something.
What's that? Oh, what's that? What's that?
If you're a TERF, double down on it and be a TERF. I don't want to dwell on this, but I just want to mention briefly that so the reviews started coming out for the latest Cormoran Strike thriller, which is the series that J.K. Rowling writes as Robert Galbraith, the sort of detective series, adult detective fiction. Turns out the plot of Troubled Blood, which I only know the title of it because one, I've read the reviews, and 3, I packed about 4 dozen copies of it. So it turns out that the plot is about a dude serial killer who dresses up as a woman to prey on women in female spaces.
Yeah.
She literally created the villain that she's supposedly so panicked about. Can we just
Which either means that she's trying to show what she's saying is her reason for being so protective of over trans individuals in what she believes is a protective and caring way, and also over female spaces. It's her way of saying, this is what I'm saying could happen, and like it probably does all the time, or she's just completely funneling all of her hatred of the trans community and their reaction to the things she's been saying into a character.
Also, it's not the first time there's been a trans character on that series that's been treated poorly. It's been handled poorly, shall we say?
Fucking hell.
But yeah, which someone repurposed the Austin Powers penis pump gag, but with different J.K. Rowling things.
Yeah.
Just like, I am a total transphobe, and that totally is my bag, baby, by J.K. Rowling. So if you know that gag, you've seen the meme. Anyway, but yeah, and now you're telling me that Robbie Coltrane and Ivana Lynch are backing her up, and I'm like, oh, why?
They've leapt in to defend her, and it's
why are we
like,
doing this? Who? Billionaire J.K. Rowling does not need your protection. She's fine.
A relative of mine a few weeks ago, we were talking about the J.K. thing, and they said, I don't agree with her, but the way that sort of the Rupert Grint and Dan Radcliffe and Emma Watson came out and sort of, essentially bit the hand that feeds them. Like I thought that wasn't on. And I said, so what you're saying is, just because Lex Luthor's put some money into redeveloping the suburbs in Metropolis, Superman should be his best mate and defend him. Like, listen. Is that really that's not... No. I said, like, they played characters who were absolutely written from a place of having a positive and inclusive ideology. Just because the person who wrote that turns out to be a shit shouldn't mean that they're like, Joanna's... she's sort of thinking about it. They're like, no, what she's saying is wrong. And it's completely right to say that it's wrong.
Right, for someone who came from, the background of being a single mum, a victim of abuse, she should know better, but...
Yeah. Yeah. But because it's not her direct situation, she's decided that she knows all about it and is going to judge it. And it's like, what? No, hang on. No, that's not how this works.
This is good. This is good, Joe. It's good luck. Just stop.
Well, and Joe,
just stop.
You anus face.
As it turns out, not good. And also on the subject of Lex Luthor, let me tell you about Lex Luthor. Right? That bastard Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor stole 40 cakes. That's as many as 4 10s. And that's terrible. As 4 10s. You know what else is terrible? Our email section. Here we go.
Emails.
We're going to round off this show with a couple of emails.
At least one will confess a murder. Emails.
Well, I don't know. Because our Doctor Who correspondent Sam has returned with his second part of the War Games. Recap of the War Games in an email entitled Pat Pat the Hat Man.
Pat Pat the Hat Man!
And Sam says,
please to Pat Pat on the one called the Hat Man.
Oh god, this is bonkers, even by Sam's standards.
Hello. Take a breath.
War Games episode 6 to 10. Episode 6, can you surrender? Please surrender. Episode 7, getting too long. Episode 8, Warlord and his big eyes. Episode 9, back to the 1917 zone, say next bit of episode 9 in slow motion. Jamie, Time Lords, Zone, try and open the door. Episode 10. You can stop the slow motion now. The Doctor is on trial. Oh, no more, Jamie. I have not been so sad since Sexy Ian left London 1965. What? And now, Devious John Pertwee, yes. Last he appeared in the show, and it's shit. I know it's fan film, but it's shit.
Wait, I'm sorry, Sam. You don't count Devious as part of your official watch-a-thon.
Like, you don't count
Devious as part of your official watch. What?
Now season 6B. Why does everyone think that the 2 Doctors is season 6B? For the second Doctor, no. Jamie said in it, can we go get Victoria? Victoria! So the 5 Doctors and the 3 Doctors is season 6B for the second Doctor. I'm so sad to see Pat go. Love this story. Maybe a 7-episode story. Sorry for the long email, but next week it will be Batman 1966. Goodbye, my friends! From Sam. It won't be Batman 1966 next week. It'll be something even weirder. Your head's a wonderful, strange place, Sam. Thanks for sharing it with us.
We're fans. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
This one comes in from Sean. And Sean says... Sean says, all right, guys.
You're right, Sean.
All right, Sean. After hearing you guys talking about bad superhero entertainment, that does not narrow it down, I thought I would tell you about good superhero entertainment I've watched over the past month. Firstly, I checked out Stargirl, the not quite CWDC show. That's a lot of abbreviations. Which is pretty good. It feels like it would fit into the CW Arrowverse shows, but its bigger budget and serialized nature does make it feel different. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that was awful. Yeah. And the show is pretty fast-paced with no real filler. When this show moves fully to the CW, let's hope Warner decides to move the budget as well. Okay. I might give Stargirl a pop. Also, I managed to watch the Amazon original The Boys, which is great. The violence, gore, and edginess are not as overboard as I first thought it would be, and after seeing the trailers last year, most of the characters are pretty morally grey, but there are a few good eggs that you want to see survive. Into Season 2, I feel like anybody could just be killed because of characters like Homelander, who I feel constantly on edge whenever he's on screen, because it does seem like he could snap at any time and kill the first people he sees. I've not started on the second season of The Boys yet. I think we'll probably do that this weekend, because they're releasing it episode by episode, not all in one chunk like they did the first series. But I really enjoyed the first series, and I wasn't sure what to expect because I hadn't read it, but I know it's based on a Garth Ennis book, and Garth Ennis can just be a little much sometimes, like a little too cynical.
I get that, but that for me, I've read the first volume, and the charm of that book, to for lack of a better word, is how cynical it is. It was sort of when it came out, it was very much like a, oh shit, this is a but fuck this genre take on the genre. And it was sort of like, oh, this is kind of striking and interesting. But yeah, it's I've still not dived into the show, but I love some Carl Urban. So
he's great in it. He's having a whale of a time. And also,
does his Cockney accent like get progressively worse?
Oh no, it's great. It's great. And I think it's Anthony Starr who plays Homelander. Yeah. Thanks.
That was our The Boys correspondent, Keeks. There.
That was our movie trivia correspondent. That's what she's good at that. He's fucking terrifying. He's fucking terrifying. Like, for all that Warner Brothers seem intent on doing evil Superman, like, don't bother, because The Boys is around.
Like, he's over here. Like, he exists, and someone's nailed it.
Evil Superman is just terrifyingly psychopathic, like, complete lack of empathy. Just so powerful, completely detached from humanity. Superman.
If Lex Luthor was Superman, basically.
And stole 40 cakes.
That attitude. Yeah.
All right, next one. We're going to wrap up this week with this one from this one coming in from Dan. The original, Dan. You might say.
The original man.
It says Big Damn Bionicles.
Oh.
Couple of questions for your ears and eyes.
That was a callback.
Chris, since you did your video series ranking the Doctors from BBC TV's The Doctor Who, have you found some Doctors have changed places during your marathon? Where would you put 13? Have you worn wigs?
Will you wear wigs? Yeah, I can't remember the running order of them all off the top of my head. I still think Chris would be at the top and John in second, like without a doubt. I don't think that'd change at all. Capaldi would still be low. I think it would probably be John Hurt would still be at the very back because we only really have one television adventure to judge him on. I think then it would probably be Peter Capaldi because his era is now complete and I didn't care for the era, so as a result I don't really enjoy the Doctor as much.
It's a shame because I think, with the exception of the Monks trilogy, I think that last season of his was much stronger than the previous two.
But I think he would be joint with the other Peter, with Davison for me, because I'm not you, John Davison's Doctor. Like I don't dislike him, but he's nowhere as fun or as enjoyable for me as a lot of the others. So
same problem with Capaldi though. I think he got a lot of shit scripts.
Yeah, I think Jodie would be above them both. Because she's still mid-run, so I can't really place her higher because I can't look back at the whole era yet. But I like her energy. I like the fizz of her on screen. Like
she's fun.
She's like someone's cracked open a cherryade, like on screen. And I like spending more time with her than I did with Peter and Peter. So,
and I know people like to complain about it being overcrowded, but I really like her TARDIS crew.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it being stripped back.
Yeah.
To just her and Yaz though, because I think that'll make for a nice dynamic.
You've been writing fan fiction again.
It's not fan fiction if you don't write it down. It's just headcanon. Sexy headcanon.
Matt, how's
Graham on Graham action.
Matt, how's the
That's
Warhammer?
the real Chase. Sorry.
Matt, how's the Warhammer stuff coming along? How on earth do you have the patience to paint stuff that small? Do you listen to music/podcasts or something while you work? Will you wear wigs? That's all from me, really. Have a good week, everybody, and listen to the Showbocast. The Showbocast. Dan. How's my stuff coming along? Showbo, Shobo.
Go get it, folks.
Stuff's coming along good. I am, cracking on between Warhammer 40k and Lord of the Rings stuff.
As long as you're not cracking off on them.
No, it doesn't do anything for the colours. I am currently adding some cavalry to my Isengard force in the form of Warg Riders.
50% of the listeners had that song stuck in their head the moment you said that word, so thanks for that.
So that's fun, and currently I just stripped, and I'm in the process of repainting my Blood Angels Death Company in time for them to get a new codex before the end of the year. But yeah, I've got a nice 500 point chunk of Blood Angels and Orcs for 40k, and I've got a nice 500 point chunk of Rohan and Isengard for Lord of the Rings, but because of lockdown, I've got no one to fucking play with. So that's how it's going. How do I paint stuff that small? Slowly. Small brushes. And yeah, I tend to listen to music or do a podcast while I work. It's the doing it. Having Ambassadors of Death on in the background while I painted stuff was the only way I actually got through Ambassadors of Death. So it's that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'll whack on some crap TV in the background, or I'll listen to music or a lot of podcasts. I tend to be before I started working again, I tended to do it in here while Keach was doing other stuff, so I'd just sort of sit on the ambience and like put in my headphones if she was doing stuff that I couldn't listen to. So yeah, it's been so good to do again though.
I can tell you're enjoying it because you're not a big social media poster, and yet there's at least two posts a week. At least 2 posts a week of like, just finish my orcs, motherfuckers. Take a look at these bad boys. And it's like, yes, now.
Two posts a week is a good show, but basically, whenever I finish something, it goes on the Instagram and on the Reddit as well. On people like them on Reddit. It's nice to get recognition for something. Everybody. So.
No pressure, folks.
What am I talking about? I've actually got to do something to get recognition for it. But yeah, that's...
Hey, just show your photo roll on your Insta story and don't leave anything out. Yeah. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Just delete those screenshots. Right, everybody.
Scroll through.
Thank you.
Scroll through, and when people zoom in on the little square featuring a certain appendage, they will see written upon it in Sharpie. If you'd like to support the show, head to patreon.com/BigDamnCast. You can, of course, follow us on Twitter at BigDamnCast. We're on Twitch, Big Damn Stream, and the Big Damn channel is on YouTube for all of your Big Damn needs. Remember to email it to the show, bigdamcontext@gmail.com. And we will see you next week with more hilarious/terrifying news. And then on the other testicle, it will say, bye!
Bye! Oh, bye from my balls.